Well, now there's a second case. It's called Spiderpus and the Screeching Wheels. Let's get right into it. Yup, we're back playing dead. Let's get into it, shall we? So, I'm back. Someone suggested I set up a proper blog, so, here's that. Anyway, it seems that a few of you want to hear about some of our other monster mishaps, and I'm nothing of people consider, so here you go. Also, we're still home, and if I don't look busy, Brian's gonna drag me into some feng shui remodel of our shitty apartment, which I admit I wouldn't mind him doing. But I'm not getting suckered into moving a bunch of furniture to make up for his new alarms. Before I give you the thing in the basement of that venue in Chicago. That's a working title. On the surface, there's nothing unusual about this place, which I'm withholding the name of because I want to be legally responsible for some wannabe monster hunter reads this and goes down there to harass the venue owners, or worse, actually finds the thing. Actually, it was kind of a little hole in the wall club, nothing extraordinary. The stage was about the size of a broom closet. Caleb, Ryan, and I had all like 3 feet between everyone's gear falling into the crowd. Savannah's drum kit was shoved so far back that you could barely see her. Plus the whole place shook when people jumped in the pit, and Dave got more encouraging that as much as I probably would. The green room, meanwhile, was downstairs. It wasn't all that appealing to hang out in. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was a repurposed laundry room with just a couple of armchairs, a small couch, and about half of one was on our rider. Apparently knowing that the venue had wanted to entertain my request specifically were Red Sour Patch Kids. They're the best ones. Fight me. So I was stuck rooting around in the back for them. I was sitting on one of the couches, scavenging for Red Sour Patches while thumbing through a book I pick up at some Midwestern truck stop about haunted places in America. Unsurprisingly, the house where we accidentally obtained Thief didn't make the list. The rest of my band lurked in various other corners of the room. Savannah and Kayla were engaged in a heated game of Super Smash Brothers, and Brian was parked in one of the other chairs reading some trashy hipster magazine. Steve was relaxing on the floor, as much as a ghost can relax. I'm still unclear of whether he actually sleeps or what, but that's what it looked like he was doing. Suddenly he picked his head up and tilted it, and waited raised slightly as he blinked a few times. It's a dog from earlier. And his lips pulled back into a snarl. Brian and I looked up from our reading material, and Savannah and Caleb paused their game.
Hey, Thief, what's up?
Caleb got up and took a few steps toward him. They stood, barked once, and took off through the wall of the green room.
Hey, wait!
Caleb sprinted out the door after him. The rest of us watched as he disappeared down the hall.
Should we go with him?
Probably.
Savannah sighed, pushing herself off the couch.
Who knows what he'll get into?
Brian rolled his eyes, put down whatever vegan mustache wax article he was reading, and followed us out the door. The 3 of us followed Caleb down the hallway. We found him standing at the end of it, staring at a door.
Where'd he go?
In there.
Caleb pointed at the door, which had a handwritten employees only sign taped to it. He tried the doorknob, it was locked.
So, do we ask the venue guys for a key, or...
And tell them what? Our ghost pet phased through the door and disappeared in there?
Might be the outcome.
Just leave it. He'll come back eventually. It's probably just a storage closet or something.
But what if he doesn't?
It's meant to be and he can stay here. Good riddance.
Damn. Caleb looked like a kicked puppy, and Savannah punched Brian in the arm.
Look, if he doesn't turn up, we'll find a way in there later. Come on. We're on in a few minutes.
Okay. Somewhat reluctantly, Caleb follows back to the green room. And this is what was going down. The show went off off, only a few hitches, I guess. We had some weird feedback issues, and there was this strange clicking noise the sound guy kept blaming us for, and we kept blaming him for because neither of us knew what was going on. These house audio guys are super hit and miss. Sometimes they're actual professionals. Sometimes they're somebody's cousin whose sound engineering resume consists of their high school play and a graduation party or two. But we can't afford to hire our own to bring out yet. We can't even afford a tour manager. So Savannah and I kind of split that job. I make sure everyone is where they need to be, when they need to be there. She handles all the finances, including shaking down the promoters from our money and arguing with them about what percentage of the merch sales they're supposed to be at. She usually wins. Of course, our merch sales weren't as exactly stellar, considering that we changed the band name halfway through the tour and now had a bunch of shirts and stickers, I'm sorry, with that wrong name, because we're idiots and we did not think about the consequences of that decision. We did hang out at the merch table for a while after our set and managed to schmooze our way to a few sales by signing some autographs and taking selfies with a small handful of people who actually were excited to see us. I recognized a couple of them from other cities, and I wonder how far they'd driven. Our fan base may be small, but I guess I'm glad we had one. We have one because that's more than a lot of musicians wind up with. I admit I'm still getting used to total strangers knowing who I am, though, and it makes me a little nervous. I heard some real horror stories about other bands and about stalkers and the like, not to mention that I'm terrified to accidentally offend someone and incur the wrath of the internet. The price of fame, I guess. Anyway, speaking of consequences of poor decisions, thieves still hadn't returned to the green room, which when we filed back in at the end of the night. Caleb poked around the room, checking behind counters and other tables for any sign of his pet.
Okay, can we ask for a key to that room now?
I still don't know what you expect us to tell them.
I don't know, but we can't just leave them.
Sure we can.
The hell?
Or we could just pick the lock.
I looked at her.
Do you know how to do that?
Of course.
She extracted a hairpin from her hair. That's smart.
Wait, what about that time we locked ourselves out of the van and had to break a window?
Different kind of lock. Didn't have a clothes hanger. Come on.
We all watched curiously as Savannah fiddled with the lock on the employee door. It was pretty quiet at this point in the night. The venue was empty and the other bands were gone. Finally, the door swung open with a creak. Inside was a set of stairs leading down.
I thought we were already in the basement.
It doesn't look like it.
We are. I guess there's a sub-basement?
Kind of felt that way in the Poconos 2 years ago.
Right, because that's totally a thing normal buildings have.
What do you think is down there?
Only one way to find out.
Savannah flipped on her phone flashlight and began to march down the stairs. Caleb hurried after her.
I'm really not sure that's a good idea.
Yeah, remember what happened last time we wandered into a dark, creepy place that we clearly weren't supposed to be in?
Fine. You wusses stay up there, and we'll go find the damn dog.
Brian and I looked at each other.
He's never going to let us live it down if we stay up here.
I know. Why do we always have to do this shit?
We started down the stairs after them. Then I followed, flipping on my flashlight as well. I didn't see a light switch at the top of the stairs, and was hoping for one at the bottom, but the bottom was nowhere to be found. We hit a landing. The stairs turned to face the other direction. Then another, where they reversed again. I keep going. We decided to keep going. We kept walking and descended another set of stairs.
I think we should turn around.
What? Are you scared? It's just stairs. Let's keep going.
Alright then. That's kind of curiosity.
No, seriously. We could get in trouble for this.
Well, as I said in the quote down there, keep going. I saw my flashlight around, but everything other than the stairs we were on was shrouded in darkness. Continued our descent.
How the fuck long are these stairs? This is gonna take forever to get back up. Also, where are we?
I think I see the bottom.
Shining his light over Savannah's head. Sure enough, the last stair put us on solid ground, but there's still no light switch to be found, or a nearby wall for that matter.
Real talk, how deep are we?
Brian squinted into the darkness.
This has to be like stories below the ground. This is not a normal basement.
True.
Deep enough that there's no cell service.
Exactly. I like useless phone in the air.
That's our luck.
We're looking for a ghost dog. Nothing about this is normal.
Thief! Hey, thief! Here, boy.
We charged him. We heard a bit of barking in the distance, echoed around the chamber a little bit. We exchanged glances and began walking towards the sound. Walks were still nowhere in sight, and the floor was little more than packed dirt. There was another bark every 10-20 seconds, allowing us to reorient ourselves in the right direction. We followed the sound of the barking. Oh, they're on me right now. Right, I hear them right. Straight. You should be hear the barking anymore. It's been turned. Left. I realized looking back this was not the smartest idea. More than going down the stairs. First was just put our bad decisions tab.
Guys, are we going to find the stairs again?
We'll just go back the way we came.
Okay, can you tell me which way that is?
It's...
And then realized that I couldn't see shit. I had no idea.
That's what I thought.
There's another bargain. We kept moving towards it for the lack of better option.
really doesn't seem like we're getting any closer.
This place is a straight up cavern.
Brian tried his flashlight bow around to either side. I almost dropped his phone when he shined it above us.
What is it? Oh, holy shit!
What? What happened? There's something hanging from the ceiling, directly above our heads. Oh, damn, that's what it was. And it was shiny, wet black eyes. Shiny, wet black eyes blinked out at us. They pointed a tongue. My tongue hung from something that was halfway between a jaw and a mandible, sideways, but with the rows of a squarish, human-like teeth on either side. So basements are a bad idea. I should click them together once or twice, and launched itself off the ceiling and landed with a thud on the ground behind us. We spun around, the beams from our flashlights shaking as we began backing away. Now that it was on the ground, I could see that thing's body was a little more than large, round, black fuzzball. Long hair hung off of it and swished back and forth when it moved. Its legs were stated in the previous story, somewhere between spider legs and tentacles. They were thicker, closer to his body. The joints were sort of rounded, but they were visible joints. However, they had rows of what looked like suckers along the undersides. They clicked its teeth at us again. Took a step forward. Then shuffling backwards. The familiar bark sounded again. He appeared between us and the creature, wagging his tail, crashing down playfully, looking expectantly at the monster.
Thief, get away from there!
He's already dead. How much worse could it get?
I don't want to take that chance. Come here, thief.
Thief in her trained puppy fashion, nobody ignored him and hopped side to side, moving occasionally at the monster. Picture turned blinking at Thief with all its eyes, made a wiggling motion and began hopping side to side, keeping the leather ground. Thief became excited and running in circles around the monster, rapidly trying to nip at its feet. The monster continued to waggle wiggle and click excitedly. Its long fur swishing around as a thief took turns chasing each other around the room.
Are they playing?
Well, it sure doesn't look like fighting.
The dog and spider thing continued the game for another few minutes before seeming to tire each other out and returning to where they were standing. He sat down in front of Caleb, tail still wagging. The creature spun around once or twice, while shaking itself out and clicking happily, flopping its abdomen down with a lower thud.
Does this mean you're ready to go?
Dave looked up and barked once, tongue hanging out of his mouth as usual. Caleb suddenly bent down and picked Dave up, taking his eyes off the spider, which was now sitting calmly and watching us with some curiosity.
So, how do we get out of here?
At that, the creature perked up. We instinctively stepped back as it got to its feet and began making its way towards us, keeping a soft tapping whistle through it. Albert scuttled right past us and started on the opposite side, looking back expectantly, clicking a few times.
I think it wants us to follow it.
Is that really a good idea?
Got any better ones?
No.
Then, we're following the giant fuzzy spider.
Collectively, we began to follow the spider. Octopus. Spiderpus! That's what I call him. The hybrid, right? We still couldn't see much, so we got closer together until finally the stairs came into view. At that point, we all but sprinted the rest of the way, hitting the planks, and began to jog up. I was on the way, we moved awkwardly at the spiderpus.
Thanks.
Cliff placed me in response, took as a you're welcome, ready to catch up with the others. However, we had an rush to escape, forgotten exactly how many stairs there were. By the time we actually made it to the top, we were all wheezing and drenched in sweat, except Savannah, who exerted this kind of energy in the regular, while drumming and had to keep stopping to let us catch up. This particularly fell through the door back into the basement hallway. The extra manager came strolling through the stairs, downstairs, whistling merrily, suddenly abruptly with unlocked eyes.
Thought you guys were gone.
We had to... We forgot something.
He looked past us at the open door.
You went down there, huh?
Yeah.
You, met Bessie, I take it?
It has a name?
Of course she does.
It's a she?
Now, as far as I know. Well, what'd you forget?
At that moment, the thief chose to materialize out of thin air on the door in front of me, barking and biting as usual. I looked down at the dog, then back at us.
Oh.
So I decided that whatever the answers were to any of my other questions, I don't want them.
Yeah, we're just gonna go now. Long drive, you know?
Right. You do that, yeah.
Without another word, we hurriedly made our way out of the venue, got in the van, and sped away as fast as we could without getting a ticket. No one spoke for a long while. Eventually, I realized that Caleb and Brian, as well as Steve, were sleeping soundly in the back seat. Shortly after, Savannah passed out in the passenger seat and drove us on into the night. I did a little digging around online later to see if anything even remotely close to the spiderpus had ever been seen before, and nope, nada. The closest I found were a handful of folklore spider monsters from other countries and various Native American tribes, and a kraken, but Bessie didn't really match the description of any of them. I have to admit, it was a bit of a relief to know there are other people who deal with weird stuff on the regular floating around. Clearly, that production manager was aware of the monster in their basement, and betting there were other employees who knew, too. But that begs the question, what else is out there? As it turns out, a lot of things. But those are stories for other days. Actually, you know what? It was kind of short, wasn't it? Actually, I think we have time for one more. Bear with me. So we're going to forget all this. The next few days were, much to our relief, pretty normal. Or at least normal as your ghost dog sticking his head out the van window by just phasing it through the glass and get anyway. However, it came to screeching halt across the state of North Dakota. The Despite being well into what should be spring, places like this were still getting showered with snow. Stopped in some small town somewhere to get gas near the grocery store before we spent all everybody's fast food. Not that there was much you could keep in a couple of coolers in a cramped van. And when I say small town, I mean there was one like Main Street and a couple of side streets, and everything after that was woods and fields. It's pretty isolated. There wasn't a town for miles as far as I could tell. The local residents were cheery enough, considering the weather, and a lot of them were going about their business in t-shirts. I guess anything above freezing is a heat wave in places like that. Well, it didn't bother me, personally. Growing up in Nebraska will do that to you. And Brian was in a summer boat, coming from Seattle, though he was more used to rain than snow. Our home base is in Arizona now, but I don't think either of us have gotten used to the dry heat there. Caleb and Savannah, on the other hand, have spent their lives in desert country, relocating from Southern California to Tucson, where the other four of us met. Those two were bundled up in every article of winter clothing and packed, walking around like stay puffed, marshmallow people. It's like the fat white guys, I think. Anyway, we followed the van and made our way to the town's tiny food mart. It was a small mom and pop shop. Apparently Walmart and Costco hadn't managed to sink their clothes into this place yet. The selection was great. The selection wasn't great, but it was better than McDonald's.
Remember, absolutely no dairy. That shit doesn't keep. Also, Brian almost pukes every time he so much as smells milk.
Because being lactose intolerant is my fault.
And Caleb, lay off the Slim Jims. You're gonna turn into one if you keep eating those things.
Caleb made a pouty face and shuffled dejectedly away from behind Savannah. Brian and I headed in the opposite direction. Caleb and Savannah occasionally shoving things into the grocery basket. Well, cart really. Brian bought a jumbo bag of fruit and nut trail mix, and I carefully inspected a bag of Granny Smith apples before adding them to the basket. I felt pretty crisp with that.
You know you're literally the only person who likes those, right?
Yeah, so no one takes them. Also, there's that saying about apples and keeping doctors away. And my health insurance is garbage, so I need to stay far away from the doctors.
Right, because we picked such a safe career option.
Yeah, there's not really any going back now.
Don't you actually have a degree? Why not get a job in that field?
Sure, if you see any historian openings, let me know.
You know, I never saw you as the academic type.
Honestly, me either. Can you imagine me in like a sweater and khakis teaching a class?
Brian looked briefly like he was trying to picture that before we started laughing.
Is that ridiculous of an image?
No, it's just, I imagined it with the baseball cap.
My mouth suddenly twitched into a smile, then a laugh. A moment later, we were getting funny looks from other customers as we cracked in the middle of the produce aisle. You know, Savannah and Caleb apparently having their own grocery adventure.
We're not buying an entire box of cereal.
He snatched the box of crunch berries out of Caleb's hand and put it back on the shelf.
We can't even get milk to put in it.
Don't need milk. Crunch berries are good dry.
No cereal is good dry.
I eat dry cereal all the damn time. Man, wait, let me go back. Savannah had a box of Pop Tarts. Instead, Caleb examined the box, swapped it for another flavor, and put it back in the basket. As they made their way down to the store, Caleb paused at the end of an aisle, then darted down and grabbed something and sneakily shoved it in the basket before Savannah noticed. She confessed later that she had no idea how he did this, and perhaps really underestimated him when he was capable of running motivated by food. As we walked past the meat section, Savannah paused.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
What's it supposed to mean? Caleb looked at the sign she was pointing at and read it aloud.
Please do not feed the animals. What? The steaks?
The hell?
How do you feed a chunk of dead cow meat?
I don't know.
Maybe they're ghosts, like Thief.
Or Bessie.
You don't feed thief either.
Oh, good point.
As he proceeded, things got stranger.
Hey, what's that on the floor?
Yo, what? Savannah took a few steps closer to the pink and white pile tile floor.
It's meat.
Sure enough, one of the packages of raw chicken had been torn open and half eaten, half milked thigh laid on the ground.
What kind of store is this?
Talk about clean up on aisle 5.
Savannah looked around and spotted an employee walking by.
Excuse me.
She jogged up to her and pointed at the pile of poultry flesh on the ground. The employee followed her gaze.
Oh, again? Alright, I'll get the mop. Thanks.
With that, Savannah casually strolled away, only to herself in a very confused Savannah in her wake.
Okay, that's it. We're leaving.
Bye. She grabbed Caleb by his sleeve and dragged him away. Brian and I were already in the checkout when Savannah and Caleb approached, looking quite unsettled.
You guys look like you've seen a ghost.
Joe didn't get much of a response out of them.
Everything okay?
There's something weird going on in this place. We should go.
Brian exchanged glances.
Like, weirder than normal for us?
I'm not sure, but I don't want to stick around and find out.
You say so. We filled up supplies, we got back in the van and settled down the snowy road out of town. It didn't take long for the houses to give way to trees and wilderness again. On the way out, there was a large wooden sign with the understood wildlife spray painted in big red letters. I just thought it was kind of weird, but in retrospect, Savannah and Caleb seemed pretty unmoved by it. As we proceeded down the tree-lined road, a sign on the bricks approached as something that darted across it. The van skidding in the snow before it came to a stop.
What did you do that for?
Did none of you see that?
See what?
There was an animal or something in the road.
What kind of animal?
I'm not sure. It was white.
And it looked like great tint to it.
That narrows it down. Let's go. This place weirds me out.
I pressed the gas pedal and the van moved onward. About a half mile later, I let it slowly drift to a stop again.
Now what?
I pointed something up ahead. It was in the snow was a puddle, something bright red, kind of chunky. This time I received no snarky commentary. Nudged the van closer to the puddle, and we were just stepping a few feet away from it, and opening the driver's door.
What are you doing?
Investigating. What else?
I ignored Brian and Savannah's protest and climbed out. The puddle was just as gross up as it had been from a distance, red blood with chunks of pink and white flesh, and a few bits of hairy skin. It was hard to tell what color it had been. There was a small trail of blood leading further into the woods.
You're not thinking about following that.
Yeah.
The hell, Corey?
You understand why that's a bad
Me.
idea, right?
Yes, but I'm not going to be able to live with myself if there's a person on the other end of this. And we just left them here.
Should we maybe just call the police?
Sure, if there's anything to call them about.
I heard Brian mutter to Savannah as I walked away.
What's gotten into him?
Thankfully, it didn't actually go very deep into the woods. And what I found at the end was approximately half of a deer, not a human. The other half was nowhere in sight.
What do you think did that?
Caleb and his followed me into the clearing where the deer was. That thief was behind him and tilted his head curiously at the dead animal. It was mostly the front half of the deer that remained, though a good portion of the face looked to have been either eaten or disintegrated. Just the skull shone bright white, like some chemical had been used to strip the flesh off.
Not sure. But we probably don't want to meet it.
It began to turn back, but suddenly the thief's hackles raised and began growling loudly. When he drew close in the direction of the woods opposite us,
That cannot be good.
I grabbed Caleb and we took off back towards the van. There's an irritating screech as something darted out the trees towards us. We were too fast to get a good look at, and frankly, I did not want to know. I found out anyway, hurried up in the direction of the van. When we emerged back onto the road, Savannah and Brian were staring down at the very hungry-looking creatures that had them surrounded. Dog-like, in my opinion. They looked like some kind of large weasel, but with glowing eyes and sharp teeth that seemed too big for their mouths. They were hissing angrily, some jumping forwards and back, snapping their fangs at us.
I think I know what killed the deer.
I spun the face and looked over the things that had appeared behind Caleb and I, blocking us all in. A couple of them were drooling. and saliva hissed and steamed as it hit the ground, instantly melting the snow. He's got to do something. He had appeared in front of Caleb, still snarling and snapping back at the animals. He seemed most interested in Caleb for some reason, and several of the ones that had cornered Savannah and Brian moving in his direction. Those was twitching as if it smelled something intriguing. One of the creatures got a gloss of it, a saliva by Caleb, and he danced out the way, and going into me, around the sizzle where it hit.
Now, eaten by mutant weasels isn't the way I expected to go out.
Well, we survived the zombie and the spider monster. Our luck had to run out eventually. True.
Guess meat is meat to these guys.
Something seemed to occur to Caleb. He was in his jacket pocket digging around for a minute and dumping out an assortment of receipts and candy wrappers before apparently finding out what he was looking for.
Hey, fur balls!
He held a handful of plastic wrap sticks in the air.
For a snack?
He just had turned to look at what was in his hand, taking the focus off the rest of us. Caleb shoved a handful of sticks as far as he could, and they landed with a plop in the snow. Without missing a beat, the gaggle of creatures whipped around and descended on the spot, becoming a hissing, wriggling mass that they fought with the butter Caleb had thrown. I rushed back to the van, door still slamming shut as it turned the key and engine moved to life. The pressure ran over a couple of the weasels as the tires screeched and hauled us out of there. Minutes later, once we felt we were safely away from the horde, Savannah turned to Caleb.
What did you throw back there?
Caleb grinned and extracted a box of something from one of the grocery bags, holding it up.
I thought I told you to lay off the Slim Jims.
They aren't Slim Jims. They're
Paul's reading the box.
PetSmart brand processed meat sticks.
Okay, this was aside. Anyway, that's all I've got for now. Never figured out what the weasels were either. Partly a biologist, and Wikipedia couldn't point to me any species of weasels that spits acid and preys on full-grown deer. If anyone has any idea what they were, definitely let me know. The closest thing I find in terms of mythology was a Japanese monster called Kamaitachi. I had to ask Savannah how to pronounce that, which honestly sounds way scarier than what we encountered. The creatures from Dungeons and Dragons. The intriguing part is about it is that the locals definitely knew about them. It's hard to believe that no one has alerted the biology authorities. I guess that's just the sort of thing that gets accepted in small towns. The spiderpus and screeching weasels just proved one thing. The haunted house in the woods wasn't an isolated incident. This stuff is everywhere, and every town could be hiding its own monstrous secret. I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about that. Anyhow, I just heard Brian drop something heavy that he probably had no business picking up. So I guess I should go make sure he's not dying or anything. Signing off for now. Well, that's it. That's Play Dead, Case 2, Spiderpus and Screaming Weasels. Thanks Josh, Alan, Jazzy, Rebecca, and Jeffrey for the production manager. Rebecca, pet store employee. Zap Splat, Rocket Stock, and Premium Beat. Like this. I really like this. Well, anyways, guys, that wraps up Play Dead, Case 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate your support. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, like, hit share, hit the notification bell, as you never know when I upload to not miss a single episode. Thanks again for watching, folks. I'll see you guys again soon.